Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we have a very intriguing thing when it comes to the connection between the Xbox, PlayStation, the future of PlayStation games coming on Xbox, a little bit more extra additional, I guess, like truth and facts coming towards the big Xbox. We have to come up with like a code waiting for this or something, like the explosion of Xbox games coming up on every platform. And I want to go talk about the fact that right now, Xbox is actually getting PlayStation consoles and dev units for them to basically go and start learning to code on them, having a chance to like basically learn the system, I guess, to be able to go and code, make games, and port games over to things like the PlayStation or Switch systems. And this is actually some very nifty news coming out regardless, like let alone the fact that these big rumors of Phil Spencer bringing all these Xbox games to other consoles, if it's real or not. All of this is intriguing even without that on the, list. So let's go talk about this random dynamic duo that is now being formed between PlayStation, Xbox, and everything else. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch room down below if you guys want to follow. Leave a like, and I would love to hear your thoughts and comments because I feel like this is a little on the juicy side, and I still cannot wait for Phil Spencer himself to kind of come out and talk about what's actually going on, because it does seem as of right this second, a lot of Xbox people are kind of not in the loop as well. And of course, sign up for Weeble, you guys go get a bunch of free stock. If you might just instantly sell it, withdraw it if you guys want to. That's all linked down below. So some kind of big news, I would say, going on these past few days has been on Microsoft, where, as you guys have probably heard on my videos or just some news articles or Twitter, wherever, is that Xbox is seemingly wanting to bring all their kind of big, mega gaming hits to PlayStation, the Switch, and other various platforms and media sources. Now, this has not been 100% confirmed, but this is even more evidence and as well an intriguing thing to talk about, where it seems like Microsoft is now buying and getting, whether they're from like loaners or paying money for it, these PlayStation 5 developer kits, as Xbox is apparently now pivoting towards getting all these games on PlayStation. So if you guys don't know, when it comes to consoles, they usually have these like big developer type units, which are somewhat more opened up consoles. So you have the PlayStation 5 that you might have in your house, or I have right next to me, and with that is you can run games, you can play games, you have the operating system from Sony or Xbox, whatever. It's like cool, custom made, it's nice. But developer kits are a little bit more different. They're essentially slightly more powerful, and they have a lot more units and the kind of like internal things to change up with the consoles. Have you guys ever played with old modded consoles on like Xbox or whatever? Very similar to that, where you have a chance then to go and test games, pre-launch games, basically have a chance to see like how the game is running. Basically, I'm saying for PC, you have a chance to run a game, you can see if it's like running well, you can mod it, you can change the files on it, you can change like the resolutions, and a lot of really big finer tuned things, and it's essentially what a dev unit is. It's basically meant for developers to put the files on whatever game they're trying to make, or in this case, Xbox, pivoting on over and porting on over to, say, PlayStation, so they can see how the game runs, if there's any issues, if there's any bugs, if there's operating system issues, if there's too much stuff being in the screens, if they're running different, if the architecture is different, pretty much just making sure the game can run, but as well also being able to go and change the internals specifically because you actually have it for the PlayStation. So you can see the internal specs of the console, you can kind of see if you want to go and change stuff, optimize things. It's just basically really good. It's a better console that's meant for developing on and testing on. It's just different. It's meant for people that are working, coders, all that type of stuff. You can basically insert into like your PC, I believe, like USB. Imagine like a USB drive. You have the files on your PC, you plug it in this, and you can go run any game you'd want to because it's like a dev unit. Now, I don't know the exact specifics, but all the information we've seen from prior dev units and current dev units is kind of like that same boat. Like you have just a chance to go and have like a hacking engine. It's legal, it's a dev thing, it's paid for, it's good, but imagine like a hacking engine we can change anything you want. That's what is going on over here, where Microsoft is now apparently getting these, saying, while an enormous amount of attention has been placed on the games Microsoft is potentially bringing to PlayStation, so that's like the Hi-Fi Rush, Starfield, even maybe Halo, Gears, reports are also suggesting that the tech titan has also been quietly stocking up on the PlayStation 5 dev kits to support its plans. Speculation comes courtesy of the fansite Xbox era, which broke the news that even Starfield may be coming to PlayStation's systems later this year. This article kickstarted a landslide of stories, which also has seen Indiana Jones and Gears as well, as we kind of even covered on the channel itself. Microsoft will have already owned plenty of PlayStation 5 dev kits, of course, as its output already includes fully multi-platform titles like such things like Minecraft. So it's like still like they probably are still familiar with it. They're still aware of this existing because they make games. Or think like old like Skyrim. Think old things like any type of Bethesda game. Maybe Ghostwire Tokyo is a good example. Maybe think like Deathloop. Like they still had to go and own them after they bought out Bethesda, and they had to have these consoles because those are going to be PlayStation exclusive. So they're familiar with making games for PlayStation. They're familiar with the architecture. They're familiar with actually having like these dev units. But apparently they've been making even more additional investments into getting more PlayStation hardware to go and have them spread out apparently throughout different types of Xbox platforms. So let's say right this second that Bethesda owns, and like say Mojang own a lot of PlayStation dev kits. Well, guess what? Maybe Gears of War or Halo teams never needed it because they're like, oh, it's Halo. It's never going to come to PlayStation a year ago. And then they're like, well, change the plans after getting Activision. We got to make sure we got all these consoles good. And it seems like Xbox is now buying up a lot of stock, which is also adding towards the fuel of the fire, or people are assuming that these consoles will be coming, these games will be coming out of different types of consoles. So why else would Microsoft be buying up all these dev units? Now, there's always a chance it's not. There's always a chance these are all big rumors. But with this whole gaming universe and everything else, and even with Phil Spencer kind of going publicly stating he's going to bring out more information soon, it just seems even more and more and more likely. And this after he did a tweet a few days ago talking about how he's going to have this big businessy update event in the very near future. So either way, the fact that they're buying all these dev kits and have a chance to go and utilize these and bring these to their other Xbox game studios, whether it's Activision, Blizzard, or other various platforms, it's very intriguing to see at the end of the day. But this is kind of big. This is big. I want to hear your thoughts. This is still kind of like leading on the rumors itself, but still very cool. Now, there's some other kind of big news too as well, where we have things like Spider-Man. In case you guys have missed it, Insomniac did a nice little tweet showcasing our title update for Marvel's Spider-Man 2 arrives next month and adds highly requested features like the new Game Plus. I know a lot of people have asked for that, new suits, and even more, and they will be having a pretty bigger just announcement to discuss in the game. We still have not really seen big news, though, on like the upcoming Venom game that has been leaked and apparently is rumored to be released as of this holiday season this year, but as of right this second, that is still out. Now, it's also intriguing, too, as well, because apparently Microsoft has been a little bit on the intriguing side. We're even seeing Time Warren, Time and saying, I just want to make it very clear that even most of the folks that work at Xbox, so we have a lot of these Xbox employees and even devs, graphic designers, marketers, whatever, don't know the full details of what Microsoft will discuss next week. So people that are backtracking on certain stuff never really knew either. So it's kind of coming out, like say for me, I'll tell you guys straight up, I've said in my videos, I'm more of like someone who will report on the news so you guys can kind of stay in the loop. There's been a few stories I've broken and a few things have come out to me, but I'm not really like the big, I got more of like the, hey, I'm seeing the news, let me go and tell you the news, so you don't have to spend the time all like online researching the stuff or looking through random reset to eras or tweets or whatever. I'm just trying to give you guys the news kind of in like a big blunt form and kind of get throwing my opinions on it so you guys can discuss on it. So it does kind of seem like someone like Tom Warren's kind of pushing saying, hey, like this is big news, we're talking about this, but at the same time, no one else really knows what's going on. This kind of came over here too as well from the PS5 category, saying, according to The Verge as well, most people at Xbox just don't know about these first parties going on. And it makes sense though, because if you're an executive, like you can maybe allude toward it. Like you can maybe see how we're seeing all these like leaks and Microsoft getting dev kits and them going and doing brand new LinkedIn mentions to try to go hire people who are willing to get these games and get these multi-platform game development stuff, which makes a lot of sense. But the secondary thing is that unless you're a huge executive making the final say, or like a Phil Spencer, you don't know the extent of what the plans are. Like we don't know if it's going to be like PlayStation gets exclusivity after a year. We don't know if they're going to try to get like full polarity and release everything at the same time, which would be kind of stupid for Xbox, but maybe legally they have to, who knows. Or at the same time, they're still trying to get Game Pass everywhere. So what if there's a big Game Pass announcement? Maybe that's why PlayStation a little bit more like after a while, like, yeah, whatever, that's fine. And they get maybe cut off the streaming platform. You never know. At the end of the day, you never know. So as we see through all this stuff, people just kind of don't know what's going on. Now, I still think, just based on my speculation, it'll probably be something like a 6-month or a 1-year exclusivity period. Try to maybe set that as a standard and see if PlayStation follows suit or if Nintendo follows suit. And then with that, then you'd be like, hey, we got a whole year. You guys can have Halo. We've had like maybe multiplayer games for Xbox that'll launch everywhere because you get microtransaction money. Think Call of Duty, Overwatch, like Gears of War, whatever. And then maybe for single player stuff, they'll try to maintain it for like a 1-year console exclusivity because they still will make money by selling it on other platforms. And then at the same time, they can maybe be like, hey, we'll give you all the Xbox games. Give us PlayStation games after a year or two. Why not? We'll try to have like a little like bygones be bygones. But no one necessarily knows the exact specifics. It could also just be even all tomfoolery. This all could just be rumors and people getting their like, all getting fired on up for no reason, because we don't know until Phil Spencer and executives go and say anything. So take everything, even my own videos, with a grain of salt. But I just want to hear your thoughts, because I do think this does seem likely based on the leaks and LinkedIn's and these dev kits and everything else, but it still is a big thing to see. There's also got a pretty big PlayStation Store sale for indie games, so check that out if you guys want to on the PlayStation Network. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch stream down below in case you guys would like to go and follow. And of course, sign up for Weeble, deposit $100 or whatever you guys got to go and do. You guys get a bunch of free stock. We'll have another video later on throughout today too as well. And I love you guys.